to day 2 of family camp online. Boys and girls, we have another action-packed story for you today. And of course, you know it involves our good friend Paul. Paul had a very exciting time yesterday where he, didn't believe in Jesus and he was persecuting Christians. And then all of a sudden, Jesus meets him on the road. He goes blind. He makes a new friend. And then he starts following Jesus. He was baptized right away. And you know what else Paul did that's pretty cool? He decided that he wanted to travel the world far and wide and become a missionary. How many of you have ever heard of missionaries? I'm sure some of you are saying, me, I've heard of missionaries. I have too. Missionaries are men and women, and even boys and girls, who go out into the world and they tell people the good news about Jesus, that he died for their sins. Paul was one of those people. Paul decided, after he was baptized and after lots of other exciting things happened to him, that he was going to take a boat, take a ship, around this area of the world where he lived, the Mediterranean Sea, and he was going to tell people in these small little towns and villages about Jesus. He went on many, more than one, missionary journey. And this story is from one of his missionary journeys to the place called Rome. We've all heard of Rome. We know that there's Rome on our globes. Rome is where Paul was trying to get to. So Paul gets on this ship, and while he's on the ship, something crazy happens. As it seems that always happens to Paul, he's on this boat, and things are going merrily along when all of a sudden, a massive storm comes. Any of you ever been in your house or in your room going to sleep at night and you hear a thunderstorm? I know I don't really like the sound of thunder. I don't really like lightning either. Sometimes it makes me feel afraid. And Paul, if you can imagine, he's on a boat in the middle of the ocean when a massive storm comes. Everybody on the boat was very scared. I bet Paul was a bit scared too. Would you be scared? I know I would too. It's hard sometimes when things scare us. We go through lots of things in life that might make us feel afraid. Maybe our first day of school makes us feel a bit nervous. Maybe, all of the things that are going on in the world now, they might be making you a bit nervous. But you know what? God has a plan, and he is the one who is in control even when we're afraid. So, Paul is on this boat, and he is with his friends, and he's trying to trust that Jesus has a plan. He is looking out at the waves, and he's so scared and wondering what is going to happen, and the rain just seems to keep falling harder and harder, and the wind is blowing faster and harder and faster, and all of a sudden, his ship hits a bunch of rocks. A bunch of massive big stones hit the ship, and all of a sudden what was a ship is now a shipwreck. If you look behind me here, this is another picture of Paul on this boat, and there's lightning and thunder and waves, and Paul, he's the one over here. He is smiling. He's not looking as afraid as these guys here. This is probably what I would look like, or this, or that, or this would be me over here. But Paul looks calm, and he looks reassured. That's because he knows that Jesus is the one in control, and he is the one who can help them. So Paul, when they finally, when the storm calms down and their boat is shipwrecked, it's actually shipwrecked on a bit of like an island. I don't know if any of you have seen like Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's kind of like that when he gets shipwrecked on an island. And he says to the people, "Don't be afraid. I am here to encourage you." Encourage. What does it mean to encourage? Have you ever been encouraged? Do you know if you have? Has your mom or dad ever come to you and said, "You are doing a great job"? Or your teacher, after you've overcome a big obstacle, after you got a really good mark on your math test, have they said, "Congratulations, good job, you did a great job"? Have they encouraged you? Or maybe when you're afraid and maybe you haven't done so well on something, a friend has said, "It's okay, you can do well next time," or you don't have to be perfect all the time. That is what it means to encourage. Are you an encourager? Do you encourage people? Do you go to your friends and say, "Good job, you're doing great"? Or sometimes do you get jealous of people when they do well? Jesus would say, and Paul would say, that the best thing for us to do is to encourage others, even when they're afraid. Even when Paul was afraid, I'm sure he knew deep down in his heart that Jesus was in control and was the one who could take care of everything. And it was his job to help the other people who were with him, his friends, and the other people on the boat who were afraid, to have courage and be strong and know that at the end of the day, when things are weird, when things are wacky and out of control, there's always someone who is in control, God. Paul was a very good friend that day. He was very encouraging and very helpful to those who were afraid. And I hope today there comes a time when you have to make a choice to either be helpful and encouraging or discouraging and unhelpful, and I hope you choose to be helpful. I hope you choose to encourage others and to be very good for your moms and dads, and to also be kind to your brothers and sisters too, because times are a bit strange and a bit scary, but God is in control and he gives us the ability to overcome any obstacle that we face. Boys and girls, I hope that you've had a great time listening to the story today. I also hope that you go and find your mom, or go and find your dad, or find an older sibling. If you don't need any help, then I hope you can do this for yourself. But go on and find our link for our Google Drive with worship songs and memory verses and other crafts and fun things like that. And I hope that you take part and do some dancing, do some singing, even take a video of you doing some of the VBS songs. And I hope that you have a great day and know that we really do miss you and hope to be at camp with you again next year. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow for another exciting story.